Here we go, Module 4, Lesson 22, Homework Help. And the objective is I will compare the size of the product to the size of the factors. So we're going to use the factors as a way to compare to the product. So let's get started. Fill in the blank to make the number sentence true. All right. So if we look here, we have the number 11. Okay. And they want us to fill in the blank here. Now, you should know that if we did 3/3 times 11, it would equal 11. Remember that 3/3 is equal to 1. All right, so here, this symbol here is saying it's greater than. Okay, so we need something that is greater than 3/3 to fill in the blank. So we could have any number that is greater than 3/3. So we could put in 4/3. We could put in 5/3. We could put in 6/3. And let me stop here with 6/3, because if we did 6/3, it would basically be 2 times 11, which gives us 22, and 22 is greater than 11. So any number that is greater, so it needs to be greater than 3/3. Okay? All right. On this next one here, our scaling factor here, okay, it is asking us less than. So we need something that is less than. Okay? So less than 8/8. Because 8/8 is equal to 1. So 5 times something less than 1 will give us a number that is less than 5. Now again, we're not supposed to find the answers, we just need to understand that it's going to be less than with this. Okay? So anything less than. So we could go 7/8, because 7/8 is less than 8/8. We can go 6/8. Because 6/8 is less than. Now we can go all the way down to 1/8. Okay, it doesn't have to be what I'm stopping at. You get to choose one that is less than. Does it say explain? Explain how you know. Well, we did explain with numbers, so I'll make sure I'll explain with some words too. Okay, so here's my favorite. 4/8 is less than 8/8. Now, if we did, I'll still do it. If we did 5 times 4/8, it's going to be less than 5, because I know that half of 5 is 2.5 is less than 5. Okay? This is equal to 1/2. So half of 5 is 2.5. If I have $5 and I want half of that, it would be $2.50. So I know that. All right, so anything less than for this one here. Okay, so here we go. How would we explain it with words? Well, you could explain it many different ways with words. I'm explaining it with numbers, as long as you show that you need something greater than. So I need something greater than 11. So whatever this is has to be greater than 3/3. Okay, so I can put 4/3 is greater than 3/3, and that can explain how I know. Alright, just explain it with numbers. If you really want to explain it with words, because some of you are great with words, go ahead and explain it with words, just basically saying what I'm saying. Alright, let's say, let me see, I like numbers myself. Oh, you can also explain it with the tape diagram. So let me go ahead and explain it with the tape diagram. Alright. For instance, 4/3 times 11 let's see. Let me do the words. I think the words are going to work better. All right. To get a product greater than 11, you need to multiply by a fraction greater than 1 or 3/3, which is the same. Okay? So 4/3 is greater than 3/3. That's basically what I'm saying right here. Okay? To get a product greater than 11, okay, now we have to get a product less than 5, you need to multiply by a fraction less than 1. In this case, that would be 8/8. So then I can write whatever I choose. I haven't chosen anything, so I'm going to put a 4. 4/8 is less than 8/8. Alright, so here it says equal. So in order to get equal, I'm going to have to multiply it times 2 halves. Now that one I cannot change. It has to be 2 halves. The other ones we get to choose a lot of different numbers. This one, it has to be a 1. Alright? To get a product equal to 6, multiply a fraction that is equivalent or equal to a fraction that is equal to 1, which would be 2 halves. Now you might say, can I do 3/3? You can, but they give you a 2 here, so it has to be a 2 here on the bottom. Alright, let's see. Alright, don't worry about that. A lot of the work today is just explaining yourself. Tape diagrams can help if you really want to use a tape diagram. Some of the questions that I'm looking at right now: solve the unknown, rewrite each phrase as a multiplication sentence, circle the scaling factor, put a box around the number of meters. Okay, so the scaling factor is basically the fraction. Okay? The scaling factor would be the fraction. So circle the fractions for that, and then put a box around the other part. Okay, draw a tape diagram to model. Let me go ahead and get some of this on here because I do want to help you out there. It's a little bit different than my example. So I'm going to I'm on module 23 for tomorrow. I also look at what we did in class to help you out, and I'll review some of that. That's the way I'll do it. So here I have my work from today. So this is going to help you if you pay attention today, and if not, if you're homesick, then this will help you hopefully. And let me put that picture in here. Actually, I have to put it over there. It's not going to work. Sorry. All right, let me look at it on my computer. So today we had something to the effect of again. There we go. Keep pushing the wrong one. All right, I'll do it down here. 1/2 as long as 8 meters is equal to blank meters. This is what we did in class. Okay, so 1/2 as long as 8 meters. So our scaling factor is 1/2. And number of meters is 8. So 1/2 of 8 is 4. Now how would you show that in a tape diagram? Okay, so here's our tape diagram. I cut it in half. There's 8 here. I'm going to shade in this half here, and half of that is 4. The scaling factor is less than 1. So we should know that our answer is going to be, the number of meters decreases, gets smaller, decreased, excuse me. All right, now we have another one on the other side that says, well, I guess you're not always doing it. 8 times as long as 1/2 a meter is equal to how many meters? All right, so this one's a little different because the tape diagram is going to represent, let me give you the equation first. So this time we have 8 times 1/2 equals 4. So our answer is 4 again. But this is our scaling factor, and this is the amount of meters. Okay, so our meters starts off as 1/2. So we're only talking about this part. This is 1/2. 1/2 of what? We don't know. But that's all we're talking about. But we're going to do it 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? The scaling factor is greater than 1, so the number of meters increase. How does this show 4? I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, it's showing 4 because half of that. Okay. Is 4. All right. I know it's a little confusing, but just remember that the scaling factor is the one that's going to determine if it's greater than 1, it's going to be multiplying, you're going to get a number greater. So the number of meters increases. So our scaling factor is 8, which is greater than 1. So therefore, instead of a half, it goes up to 4. It increases. Okay? So I basically showed you that here. It's the same kind of idea. Do your best. There's a lot of work that we did in class that should help you out because the problem set is very similar. All right. May the force be with you. Oh, bonus word is, let's see. Today is Dr. Seuss Day, so I'm going to say fish. The bonus word is fish. 1 fish, 2 fish. So